Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's doing okay out there under these weird circumstances we've got going on right now. But I wanted to hop on real quick, and as promised, I was going to do a different Danessa eyeshadow color. And before we get started, I don't know about you guys, but I'm watching a ton of just fun videos, like things to make at home, makeup videos, hair videos, just stuff that makes me feel good. So hopefully you'll like to watch this one. Before I get started, just so you know, I've washed my face, but I have nothing on it. So I'm going to put some One Drop Wonder. And what I like to do is I like to put some just in my hand. Just one, half to one full of the little syringe full. And then I put in one squirt of one pump of the Sotox, okay? And I like to mix those together because then they go in my skin and distribute really well. So I'm going to put it everywhere. I make sure I get under my eyes and in between right here because that's my dry spot. So if you have any dry spots, make sure you get those really good. You can also put just one little drop of One Drop Wonder on that individual dry spot if you have a patch that just seems to be really flaky and hard to get to be not dry. So all right, so I always usually let this sink in a little bit. So when I'm getting ready in the morning, I usually put this on and then do my hair. And then by the time I'm ready to finish my makeup, then I'm good to go. It's kind of soaked in a little bit, but I'm just going to dry this off a little bit. And I hope everyone's getting an opportunity while you're at home to do some things so you feel productive. I've been working on cleaning closets and cupboards and deep cleaning my house room to room. So when this thing is over with, my life is organized, my house is clean, and I can go about life. But the next thing I'm going to put on, obviously, is a sunscreen. It's a dreary day today, but it doesn't matter. I always wear my sunscreen. This is a new thing for me. Those of you who know me, I am a sun person. And I always like to get tan, my face as well. And I am now seeing more wrinkles and brown spots than I would like to see because of that. So going forward, I've been doing really well about using my sunscreen. If you do have short hair, make sure that, and you're going to be outside, make sure you do the top of your ears. That's just one place we forget to do, and that happened to be a place where my dad ended up having some skin cancer and had to have the top of that cut off. So not good. So I don't want to go there. So anyway, we've got that on. Now, listen, the reason why I always use a sunscreen, regardless if I'm even going to be outside, is this is a moisturizer and a makeup primer. So when I use this, I don't always use my makeup primer spray. This seems to work just as good, and it's all in one step. So if you don't have some of this, you might want to think about getting some of the sunscreen, and it is 30 SPF. So we've got that. Next thing I'm going to do, and some people do this in different orders, you can either put on your foundation and then your concealer over things that your foundation doesn't cover. Or if you know what areas you have on your skin that the makeup isn't going to completely cover, although it does a really good job, then you can go ahead and do that first. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got a palette here of pretty much all the concealers, but know that you probably are only going to need one or two. So usually you'll need one to cover up blemishes and that kind of thing. And then it's nice to have a light one to highlight. So I'm going to go in here with my concealer. Now, I know some of you still have are thinking about buying some of this makeup and trying it. And now we're kind of on lockdown. It's really hard to get together. Please know that we can do a video conference, a FaceTime, something like that. And I should be able to color match you, figure out your concealers, and get that ordered, get it sent right to your door, and then we can do a one-on-one together through FaceTime on how to put all the makeup on for you. And again, don't worry, we have a guarantee. If you don't like something or the color's not right, we can get it taken care of. So if you're stuck at home, it might be something to think about. We can work on that together. But I'm just going to take some of this concealer, and I'm just going over the spots on my face that I know are a little bit red. And you can see them. I got a couple brown spots, probably more than a couple, from being out in the sun all the time. Age spots. I'll tell you what, getting older is not fun. I remember my mom talking about, you just wait. You just wait, honey, until you have some of this stuff going on. And now I have some of this stuff going on and I get it. I usually like to put just a little bit of a light foundation on my eyelids. All right, now I'm ready to put on some foundation. This is the time of year I'm using two colors. This is my winter color. This is my summer color. We're kind of in between. I've been out a little bit. We had a trip a couple weeks ago. I did get to sit outside for a little. So I'm kind of transitioning between the two. So I just twirl that in there and a little bit in that darker one. And I'm going to pat. And I'm going to do just half my face so you can take a quick look and see how well this foundation covers. Now you can put this on with a brush and then go back over it with the sponge, but always finish with the sponge because it gives it that airbrush flawless look. And as you can see, you can't see where I put the concealer. It's just blended it right in. Can you see the difference between this side of the face and this side? Yeah, much better. Make sure you get down your neck. That's the only time I kind of pull and swipe, is to make sure that it gets down to my chest area, but then I go right back over it. I'm going to take a little look here. I think we're good. Now, before I do anything else, oh, I see a little bit right here. Remember, we've got this end of the brush tooth, or the sponge tooth, to go in those corners underneath and in between your eyes. Make sure you don't have too much product there, because if you've got some lines and wrinkles, you don't want it to go in there. This foundation is wax based, so it pretty much sits on top, but if you use too much, it's going to go into some of those fine lines and wrinkles. Before I move on, I want to set this, and the reason I want to set this is if I were to put my hand on my face right now to do my eye work, it is going to move that foundation, and we don't want that. So I'm going to go into my pressed powder. I use number 3, and again, I can color match you through pictures, through a video chat or FaceTime. And all I'm doing is tapping this all over so that it will set my makeup. Now, if I touch my face, it's not going to move. All right. Looks good. Now, I'm going to go in and do my eyebrows. We have the eye pencil on one end, spoolie on the other. First thing I do is go over those brows with the spoolie to make sure they're all laying down and going in the right direction. I've never been a big brow person or worried about it all that much, but now that they've got this great pencil that's so easy to work with, I actually take time and do my brows. I have one side that is much darker and more filled in than the other, and I don't have to do much with it. But I just want to even them out. So as you can see, this one's a little sparse, especially right down in here. And again, this doesn't have to, take forever, guys. You'll get to where you can be real quick. I usually only spend about 10 or 15 minutes putting my daily makeup on. All right, we've got that. Now, I'm going to go back in and do my blush, because before I do my eyes, I want some color on my face. Otherwise, it looks like your eyes are too bright, or you don't put enough eyeshadow on, and then once you get your blush on, you're like, oh no, my eyes have kind of faded. So I like to start with some color to my face and my cheeks. So I'm going to start with the fan brush. If you haven't seen my video on brushes, look it up or I can send it to you. I went through all of our Lifeline brushes and all the different things you can use them for, because it's not just for one thing or one area of your face. So I'm going to go into my bronzer right here. And this time of year, I'm using a light bronzer, number 1. In the winter, I usually go to something a little darker. But all I want to do is pull the middle of my face in and to accentuate my cheekbones. See how that kind of comes in a little bit? I also go up here in my forehead, pull that down just a little bit, and then right at my jawline. I also like to put a little swipe right under my lip. Maybe just a hair on each side of my nose. And there we go. Got a little bit of color there. Now I'm going to go in and do my blush. This is a really good brush for blush. So is this round one. It just kind of depends what you like best. So I'm going to go into Alive for my blush. If you want to know what colors I'm using, feel free to message me. And I change it up. You know, I usually use this for most days. But as I get some sun, maybe I'll do a little bit more peaches or a lighter pink. This is kind of a burgundy. So we got some color there. You might have noticed in my palette, I have this bright pink, and I can't remember exactly the name of that color. It might be Pop, I'm not sure. But it's kind of fun. I know it looks like a lot of color, and it is. But if I just barely tap my brush and just put a little bit on the apple of my cheeks, I just have a little bit more color, a little healthy glow. Yeah, looks good. All right, gonna go into my eyeshadow. So I had posted some of the new Danessa pictures on my Limelife Facebook page and asked people what color should I use next. And I had a couple people ask me to use the blue, which is the Oasis. Now, I'm usually never use blue eyeshadow. It's been forever. So I'm going to try it today. We'll see how it turns out. I have very oily eyelids. If you do have oily eyelids or find that your shadow comes off or creases, tip, go ahead and use a concealer on there. That's going to hold that. If you find that it still creases or comes off, I like to use, and I got this from a tip from one of our other beauty guides, and it is Urban Decay, and it is the eyeshadow primer potion. I've been using this, really like it. I wouldn't suggest using this though unless you absolutely need to, because the deal is when you put this on and then you start working with your shadows, it's a lot harder to blend your shadows because it just really sticks to the stuff and it wants to stay there. So don't get frustrated if you have to spend a little bit more time blending your eyeshadows, but it's worth it because they will stay on. So if your shadows don't stay on all day long like you want them to, consider using this primer. I've used other primers and it just creases like everything else. So, all right, so I'm a little nervous about this because I have not used this color, but why not? Why not try it? I'm going to start by putting in a little bit of a light color first. So I'm going to use Rise Up out of the Danessa matte palette. Nice big wide brush. You can see it on there. And I am going to tap it on the inside of my eye and up around right underneath my brow. Not doing much on the outside corners, just some light color. All right. Now I'm going to go in with my angled brush. You can kind of see what that looks like. There's an angle on it. And I'm going to go into my Oasis. So here we go. Blue eyeshadow, folks. Going to just tap it in there. You don't swipe. You don't pull. You just tap. You're going to get a lot of color. Remember, our shadows are very pigmented. So you don't need very much. They're very soft. They're very creamy. This is the metallic color palette. And I think metallic is kind of not the right word to use for it, because to me, metallic is chunky, glittery, and stuff that's going to make your fine lines and wrinkles pop out. This does not. It's more of a foil. It's a creamy foil color. So let's put some blue on and see what we get here. Ooh, I'm kind of liking it. So I'm just doing that outside corner from the middle of my eye to the corner and in the crease and slightly above, because when I open my eyes, I want to see some of that blue. Mainly tapping and then a little blending. Okay? I like it. I like it. Thank you, Stephanie and Laura, for suggesting it. At first I was like, oh, yikes. They picked blue. I don't know how to do blue. But I'm learning right now. Here's that outside corner. Up just a little bit. Now I'm opening my eyes to make sure I'm getting it so that I see it when my eyes are open. Now I'm going right underneath the corner of my eye. Just pulling it down. Okay, now can you guys see? Yeah, looks good. I kind of like it. Now, I'm going to blend that a little bit. Let me get my blender brush. I can find it here. Got all my brushes in one big container, and there it is. Blend. And then if you want to make sure that you've got about the same amount of color on both sides, it's really easy to go maybe a little darker in one side than the other. Okay, I like it. I am going to go back in with just a tad more of the light on top, blending that in. I do notice that I have a little bit more underneath than I want. This is that concealer brush I talked about in my brush video. This is the way to clean up anything that got maybe a little out of place, if you got a little carried away somewhere. That's all you need, is just to wipe that up and wipe it away. All right. Now, just for a little bit of extra color, I'm going to take my small shadow brush right here. There you go. And I'm going to dip it into, I'm going to try just a little bit of the green. And that's Empress right here. So I'm just going to tap a tiny bit of that. And I'm just going to put that right in the middle of my eye, just to give it a little bit more color, so it's not just a swipe of blue on there. I love that Oasis, though. It's really pretty. All right. And when I change colors, I just wipe my brush off with a towel. And now I'm going to go in and I want to put in a little pop of color. Something a little shimmery, just to add. So I'm going to go into, let's see, I've got like just a real pale one right here. And I'm going to put that right in the corner. And any light color will work. So remember, with the Danessa shadows, you can now order them individually. You don't have to get all 8 in a palette, which is super nice because I've been using a mixture of the matte and the metallic. And this way you won't need to get 2 palettes of 9. You could easily do a quad with the 4 colors that I've got on here today. This would be fabulous for those of you with brown eyes. All right, so shadows are done. I want to go in and do some liner. We have awesome liquid liner and pencil liner. Our pencil liners are super soft. They are waterproof. They are going to stay on all day long, I promise. So you're going to have to use soap and water to get those off. But I like the soft tip liquid liner. And I'm going to go right in above my lash line. And I hope you can see. I've got to tilt off to the side a little bit to use my mirror. That helped brighten those eyes. I have really little eyes. There. And underneath, I don't want a line, but I need a little bit of dark under there. So all I'm doing is tapping in between lashes. So I'm not drawing a line, I'm just tapping little dots. And if you're doing a night look, then you could also rim the inside of your eye right there with some darker eyeliner. All right, how about some lipstick? I need some color here, folks. It's a dreary day today. The sun's not shining yet, and so I have got to put something bright on. I am going to go with a pink, I believe. So, I'm missing my pink liner, so it's got to be in my purse. So I'm going to do it with, I always have to line my lips. It kind of keeps everything stay put from bleeding and that kind of thing. And so I'm just going to use the nude, which you can't even see. But it helps me kind of keep in the lines. Okay. All right, so this morning I am going to use, what am I going to use? All right, I'm going to use a dark color. I am going to use Sugar Plum and something really light, Angel Food, okay? And now that I've decided to use Sugar Plum, I'm actually going to go in with my darker liner. Remember to go right on outside of that white line that goes around your lips, not on the white line. That'll make your lips look a little fuller. There we go. I'm just better at coloring in the lines. So I love watching Stephanie Biani put on her lipstick because she just swipes it on and it's right where it's supposed to be. I'm not there yet, but hopefully someday. So I'm going to do the bottom first, and I'm mainly going to do it on the outsides. I'm going to try to leave a little bit in the center of my upper lip and bottom lip without any color. All right, so see how I've got a little bit of blank lip space there? So I just took off a little excess. Now I'm going to go in with the really light color. This is the Angel Food. And doesn't have to be perfect because we'll fix it. All right. Now, if you have anything where you went out of the lines, fix it with that concealer brush. I like it. All right, before we go any further, I want to powder again. I want to set my face. So I'm going to get my powder palettes. And remember these powder palettes, I've got one of 6, but we also have them in 3s, and 3 would be plenty for you. So first thing I want to do, I want to go over it with some translucent powder. So I'm going to take my nice big fluffy brush. If you don't have one of these, it's awesome. It gets it all over your face quickly. I'm going to tap it in the translucent. I'm going to take it all over. And then to help hold that lipstick in place, I take a little bit of that translucent powder and I tap my lips. If you notice, that kind of muted it a little bit because it was pretty bright, but it's also going to hold it on there all day as I'm drinking, as I'm talking. It's going to stay put. Then I'm going to take a smaller round brush and I'm going to go into my highlighter color, put it right underneath my eyes just to brighten them up. Might be a little bit on my nose, a little bit on my chin, right in between my eyes. Okay. To finish, we are going to do some mascara. I love our Limelife mascara. It's got fibers in it. Just remember, when you get one, it's good for 3 months after you open it, which really should be typical of most mascaras. I know we tend to hang on to them forever, but don't. Get rid of them. They get full of germs. right. Got a little there in my eye. Okay. Now I am ready for some lip gloss. Where is my, real quick here, I'm going to take a little concealer. I got a little bit. Mascara. Again, concealer brush. Takes off anything, any mistakes. All right. Now I'm going to finish up with some lip gloss. I'm just going to use something light. And this is going to help blend those two colors. All right, last step. I'm going to take my Oil Strike finishing spray. Quick spray. Let it dry. And I'm ready for my day. So I really do like the blue eyeshadow. Thanks for suggesting that, you guys. I'm a little surprised. I didn't think I'd like it, but I do. So contact me if you want to do a one-on-one, or if you want to talk about some skincare, we can do that FaceTime or by text. I can set you up with a program. It'll get sent right to your house and you can go ahead and start using it while we're stuck at home. I'm going to do another video on a spa day, what you can do for a spa day to make yourself feel a little better if you're feeling a little angst about our current situation. So have a great day. I know we're stuck inside. People are feeling a little off, but I'm finding if I do 4 things every day, I'm feeling pretty good so far. And that's exercise, get fresh air, do some Bible reading, and making sure I do something productive. So maybe that'll help you too. Take care, and I'll see you soon.